I wanted to bring you guys some information here of some things that you might want to, if you have the ability. Oh, and I froze. That didn't work. The ability to kind of go through and watch online. Um, so I have not vetted all of these things, but they're on playbill.com, which is a pretty reliable source for theater stuff. Um, So some pro shots, meaning not shot by someone holding their phone in their jacket, um, of Rent. I've seen this one. I've seen it on a DVD copy. Rent is one of my favorite musicals. It is um, was really changing. It was like the musical of that generation. Um, there are aspects of it that are not PG-13, so use your discretion there. But it is a really powerful musical. It's a rock opera, so most of it is sung. Um, and it follows a group of friends who are artists in New York, kind of during the AIDS crisis. And so there's a lot of conversation there. It follows Mark, and let me see if I can find Roger. I think that's Roger, and they're a group of friends through like what does it mean to be a poor starving artist. And right now it's especially a hard time on artists because like theaters make money when people come in, and when there's no one coming in, theaters and therefore artists and actors are going to suffer in the upcoming months. So um, thinking about ways to support them. I'll let you know when I think of something really good. But it's available on, it says it's available on YouTube. I don't know if we click over here, if it will bring it up slowly. So like I said, it's got some things that are above PG-13. So again, talk to your parents, do what's right for you. I'm just letting you know what is available. Most of the it's language, um, but clearly that link works, so you can just kind of click there. Again, this is on playbill.com. Cats. I know I've made fun of Cats in class, but Cats is something that really changed theater. And while I definitely was laughing so hard I was crying during intermission when I saw this play or this musical, um, it it really changed theater. It was very avant-garde, and it gives us things about theater that we would not have. It really opened the door for musicals that weren't just about kind of a love story. It opened it up for artistry. It opened it up for light and sound and spectacle. Um, so it really does have a place in theater history and importance in theater. Um, I own the DVD of Cats, but I've never actually watched it because I saw it in person and I thought it was hilarious. Um, but when Cats came out, it was the costumes and the set design. So if you want to, you can check out Cats. Um, it looks like it's only available to stream on Broadway HD, which is really expensive, and I know there's not a ton on it, or DVD on Amazon. But it looks like maybe sometimes you can find them on YouTube and all of that. Um, Company is another show that really broke a lot of rules. As you can see where it says broke all the rules. Um, it's not a linear plot, meaning it kind of jumps around. And it's about kind of this group of people. And so it looks like it's available on DVD. But Amazon Prime Video, which is the Revival Edition. I also have, maybe it's the Revival Edition I have on DVD. Falsettos. I didn't know that actually. I just read that. It's a combination of two earlier one-act musicals. Um, but it's kind of an interesting story. I've actually never seen Falsettos. I've listened to a few of the songs, but not a ton of them. But again, always doing what you will. Um, Sunday in the Park with George. some things available there. I've never actually heard of The Life and Adventures of Nicholas Nickleby. Um, I'm just reading it while you're reading it. Again, this one's only available on Broadway HD, which is a streaming service that does Broadway pro shoots. It doesn't update very often, so it's maybe worth, if you're really into musical theater, it might be worth the money right now, because there's not a lot of theater going on. But I mean, I love musical theater. You guys know that. You can see my playbill wall here in the back, and I haven't signed up for it yet. Billy Elliot the musical is based on the film about a little boy who prefers ballet to boxing. Available on YouTube, so that's a good one to maybe watch. I haven't actually seen Billy Elliot. I've never seen Elaine Stitch at Liberty. Into the Woods. So Into the Woods became popular again when Disney did the new version of it a few years ago. I'm going to say like 4 or 5 years ago now. That had a lot of famous actors, but it's actually a very interesting show because it takes all these stories, all these fairy tales, and kind of blends them together in the woods. So it's the same woods that the Little Red Riding Hood goes through. It's the same woods that Jack has to go through to sell the cow to get the magic beans. And so how they kind of interact in these woods and find each other. It has some really good moments. It has some really good humor in it. I personally find it really long. But, we got nothing but time right now. One of Steinheim's most accessible works, blah, blah, blah. The Disney version does have most of the important songs, but it doesn't necessarily have every song in the musical. But it is available on YouTube. It is a pro shoot, or a pro shot. So it is really interesting to see how they split the scene up when they're having all these characters sing in their respective stories that aren't connected at the time. Kiss Me Kate is based on Shakespeare. So, gotta love when things are based on Shakespeare. Peter Pan, which is pretty cool if you're interested in the behind the scenes stuff because it incorporates like the flying mechanism. So you can see, if you can kind of see this right here, that is her safety harness to be able to fly. Peter Pan, weirdly enough, is almost always played by an adult woman. Theater is interesting in that way, in that it's easier to get an adult woman to play a main part than a kid. So that's just an interesting thing. It's like Shakespeare used to all be all men. I haven't seen Present and Laughter. It's, again, only available on Broadway HD. Maybe not the best one to use then. Sweeney Todd the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Johnny Depp starred in a movie version of this. Still a musical, but a movie version of this. I want to say I was in high school, but maybe I was in college. And it is a little dark, if the demon barber part didn't tip you off. It is rather dark. There are murders in it. The story is a grisly tale of revenge and murder with a famous plot twist. Blah, 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 blah. It does have some humor along with it. The character that's shown here owns a pie shop. Why can't I think of her name? Mrs. Can't figure it out. But she has some really great parts. This would be a really cool part to play. But you can check it out. You can check out, you might be able to find the movie version on some other things, but it seems like the pro shot might be also on Amazon. I do have a DVD copy of it at some point if you're curious later on. We have She Loves Me. And then you guys know the Newsies. If you, it says it's available on YouTube. I don't even want to click on it because I really doubt it's there. But if you have Disney Plus, the Newsies is on Disney Plus. Actually, so is the movie that's originally based on. And it's almost interesting to think about how to compare the movie version, which is still a musical, to the musical that we watched in class, because some of the character dynamics are different. They spend more time on Davy than they do on Crutchy in the original, and Catherine is, I believe, Davy's sister. I haven't watched it in like 10 years. But something to think about. I'm going to click on the YouTube version. I want to know if it's the Jeremy Jordan version. Oh, see, yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, but you can buy it or rent it. But again, Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, it is available there. I will probably watch it at least once before the end of this, because I love it. But those are some ways to kind of get some theater if you are interested. Other ways, let me see if I can Google it real fast. Oh, I look so scared. So Star Kids Productions. There we go. There's my face back. Star Kids is a group of people who created musical theater, usually parody theater, specifically to put it on YouTube, specifically to be able to share it with people in a larger audience that maybe wouldn't necessarily be theater people. They're most famous for doing a Harry Potter musical, which is a parody of Harry Potter. It's, if you like Harry Potter, I recommend it. In that it's just kind of funny. It kind of pokes fun at all of the characters, and just Harry Potter and Hogwarts in general. One of my favorite parts is that to make Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head, they just have two guys in a robe, and so it's just two guys walking around. So it's not high. You can kind of see it playing in the background here. It's not high quality. It's not high sets. Generally, it's a pretty bare budget. I have not seen all of their stuff. I've seen a Harry Potter musical. So let's click on musicals. But there are quite a few. Let me do this again. So Harry Potter musical, Harry Potter sequel, senior year, Holy Musical Batman. Oh, my sister's texting me. Hi, sister. Go away now. Just asking how isolation's going. I'm making videos for you guys. That's how isolation's going. So it's just kind of interesting because they really, they were one of the first people who I think really recognized that theater is hard to access and it's kind of inequitable in that way, and really said, you know, we're going to make it accessible and we're going to make it equitable for people to get here. And most of the people in Star Kid, I believe they were kind of college students. I believe they wrote it all themselves. And I love the idea of writing a musical. I love the idea of doing a parody musical. Those are so much fun. The problem comes with, like, for instance, Star Kids can do a Harry Potter musical, but they can't sell the rights to do their own musical because they don't own the right to Harry Potter. So it gets kind of like we as a high school couldn't do a Harry Potter musical, but it doesn't mean that they can't. Parody is this weird spot in copyright that is kind of a gray area. So something to think about, but definitely check out Star Kids. Some of their stuff is a little adult. It's college students making it and older, as I think they were in college when they made the first one. But a Harry Potter musical, again, I haven't watched it in a few years, but I think it was about PG-13 or less. But I do recommend kind of checking them out, just checking out kind of their mission statement of really wanting to make theater accessible. I think that's something interesting to think about. Is like, if we love theater and we want theater to prosper, how do we make it so that it's not elitist? How do we make it so that it's not, I'm not taking students in high school to their very first play, which hopefully we'll still be able to do this year. Um, those are the sorts of things that we want people to be able to experience. So think about it while we're on this break about theater and how theater works and all of that. And I'll catch you guys next video. Bye.